Commissioners, you received your July 6th, 2022 meeting minutes. Are there any additions, changes? Is there a second? Been moved and second for approval of the July 6th meeting minutes. All those in favor state by saying aye. Aye. Thank you. Yeah, I'm like, really? Yeah.
That sounds wise.
There's a motion to table the meeting minutes. Is there a second? Been moved and second for the approval of continuation of the minutes. All those in favor state by saying aye. Opposed, abstention, motion carried. Under old business, item number 1, this is a variance application for 709 North 2nd Street, which is zone CN. It's filed by John Stantz with Home Source Construction Group, LLC. It's to establish a 2-unit multifamily dwelling use on site, which requires a variance for exceeding the allowable density on site. Is the applicant here? Oh, could you come up?
So the applicant is proposing to establish a 2-unit multifamily use on site. And this requires a variance for exceeding the allowable density for the property. So at this location, for the actual space, they're looking to convert former restaurant use. They're looking to convert this back into a dwelling unit, which it previously was. So this density is for exceeding the 336 by 336 square feet. So the Planning Bureau at this property, at 709 North 2nd Street, this is a two and a half story structure. It's approximately 1,600 to 2,100 square feet, which this is an estimate. This was constructed circa 1886. And this property is bounded by 711 North 2nd Street to the north, Prince Alley to the east, the property at 707 North 2nd Street to the south, and North 2nd Street to the west. The Planning Bureau staff recommend that this request be approved with the following conditions. Condition 1, any exterior alterations to the building will receive approval from the historic preservation specialist, or if necessary, receive harbor approval of a certificate of appropriateness, also known as a COA application. Condition 2, the Codes Bureau will perform a thorough inspection of the interior of the building to ascertain whether the work which establishes the additional unit is done in compliance with building code regulations. And if they do not, the applicant must submit the necessary building permits to have the entire structure brought into compliance. Condition 3, the applicant will coordinate with Department of Public Works to ensure the account billing reflects the establishment of the proposed use on site. The Planning Bureau recommends the request be approved for the following reasons. Reason 1, the property has a confirmed history of existing as a registered and inspected 2-unit multifamily dwelling for numerous years. If approved, the project would reestablish a former legal non-conforming use within a structure that has been configured to accommodate multiple units. Reason 2, the proposed multifamily use would have a lesser or equal impact to the surrounding community compared to the restaurant or other by right commercial uses that may have been established on site.
Okay, thank you, staff. Could you state your name, your address, and your relationship to the project?
Yeah, thanks for hearing my case. My name is John Staz, and I own the property at 709 2nd Street, and I also own a property at 707 Second Street, which is next door. So the history of 709, it was previously a 2-unit. It went up for sale, I'm guessing about 10 years ago. Somebody bought it and they got permission to put a restaurant on the first floor unit. So the second floor unit remained a residential unit. The restaurant opened, it was only open several months and they went out of business. And so the property, I think it was like a hard money lending situation. So it was taken back by the lender. And I saw that it was coming up for sale. So I purchased the property. Originally, when I first looked at it, it had all the kitchen equipment. At some point, like while it was for sale, the seller pulled all that equipment out, but it was still, hookups and everything were there for a commercial kitchen. So I initially was showing it to people and say, hey, it's a restaurant, you can, but I had trouble, like nobody wanted to use it as a restaurant because there was parking limitations and space. My personal opinion is it's not a good location for a restaurant. For the same reasons that I had trouble renting it, lack of space, lack of parking. It doesn't look like a restaurant. It looks like a residential property from the front. So my proposal is just to, I'm not actually, I don't even have to really do any changes to the inside, just make it a big open apartment. So my proposal is just to turn it back into its previous use as a residential apartment unit.
You did hear the staff report and the conditions that were stated. Are you acceptable of those conditions?
Yes. Yes, I'm acceptable.
I have no questions at this time. Commissioner McKenzie, any concerns or questions? Commissioner O'Toole?
That's correct. Yes. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was a smoothie restaurant.
So this is actually CN districts. That's actually by right. They wouldn't have to have come here, believe it, or even though it doesn't look like it. It seems like you would, but because of the zoning.
Commissioner Mark? And then I'll go to the public. If anyone's for or against this project, state your name and address. I'll start to my left. Center. Here's to me, these pretty straightforward, but second. It's been moved and second for approval of this conditions. All those in favor state by saying aye. Opposed, abstentions, motion carried. Good luck.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, under new business, this is special exception application for 2604 North Fifth, Zone RM, filed by Patricia Walker, Patricia Walker Family Child Care LLC, and it's to establish an accessory child care home group use on site, which requires a special exception for the use. The applicant.
So the applicant's looking to establish a child care home group. This will be accessory use to the residential use where the applicant lives on site. So the applicant is required to request to receive a special exception for this accessory use. So this property, the applicant has a long established here as a child care family home, which is a by right use everywhere in the city. So they're looking to expand this by up to 12 children with the child care group, which that requires the special exception. I did have a conversation with the applicant where they, I think they met with the state where based on their square footage, they can actually only go up to 10 children at this site, even though this use says 12 with some of the requirements from the state, they're only going to be expanding up to 10. So this property at 2604 North Fifth Street is a 0.06 acre lot featuring a 2-story, 1,697 square foot brick masonry structure, which was constructed circa 1927. This property is bounded by the property at 2606 North Fifth Street to the north, North Fifth Street to the east, the property at 2602 North Fifth Street to the south, and Atlas Street to the west. The Planning Bureau staff recommend the request be approved with the following conditions. The condition 1, the proposed child care center must comply with all aspects of the specific criteria of section 7-309.20 of the zoning code. Condition 2, the Codes Bureau will perform a thorough inspection of the interior of the building to ascertain whether the property complies with all modern building code regulations. If not, the applicant must submit building permits to have the structure brought into compliance. Planning Bureau staff recommend the request be approved for the following reasons. Reason 1, the proposal will be compatible with the residential character of the surrounding community by serving as an accessory use within a residential dwelling while limiting the number of children to 12 or less. Reason 3, the applicant has a long history of operating a registered childcare home family use on site within full compliance of city regulations and requirements. Reason 3, the proposed use will provide necessary childcare services to residents of the surrounding community.
Thank you, staff. Could you state your name, your address, and your relationship to the project?
My name is Patricia Walker. My address is 2604 North Fifth Street, and that's Harrisburg, and I'm the owner and operator.
You heard the staff report and they had 2 conditions. Are you acceptable of those conditions?
Yes, I am.
Did you want to add anything to the report?
One thing about my expansion, it will not cause any issue to the neighbors that are there. Parking is not an issue. With COVID being in, drop off and pickup is really limited to social distancing. I will be moving up to only just 4 more children, as what my license have me at 6. And also it will offer some employment opportunity.
I guess that one question I was going to ask, I think you answered it. Did you talk to your neighbors?
Yes, I did. I followed the procedure on applying for the planning board. So yes, I did send out a letter to the neighbors.
And I guess they were all in favor.
Yes. I've been actually operating for 25 years.
Oh. All right, Commissioners, Finzik, any concerns or questions? Commissioner O'Toole? Commissioner Moore?
No, my hours of operation is 7:30 to 5.
Okay, I'm going through the public. Anyone for or against this project? I'll start to my left. Center. All right. And this is pretty straightforward. I'm glad there's needs for childcare services. I get a motion. There's a second. It's been moved a second for approval of this project. All those in favor state by saying aye. Opposed? Abstention. Motion carried. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
The second item on the agenda for the new business is a special exception application for 2134 North Second. It's zone RF filed by Stephen Tool. This is to establish a 4-unit multifamily dwelling use and request relief from the off-street parking requirement that requires special exception. The applicant here tonight?
Here on behalf of Mr. Toole.
Okay, could you come up? That,
So the applicant is proposing to establish 4-unit multifamily dwelling use in the residential medium density zoning district. And per section 7-305.7 of the zoning code, a special exception approval is required for the proposed use and for the off-street parking requirements. I would like to note one correction here. This is actually located within the riverfront zoning district, not the RM. So I do apologize. And that is actually significant for this request because they actually do not have to meet the density requirement because in the RF district, it's just a minimum lot size of 2,000 square feet, not per dwelling unit, which is a lot of the requests we get, which RM, it's 1,500 square feet per dwelling. So apologies for that typo there. So that's why this is just for the special exceptions and not having the variance involved. And additionally, this is a long-established commercial structure as a fitness center. So that also is obviating an additional variance that we usually see for these. Then a long history here as a fitness center, and where this applicant is looking to convert that fitness center space into the multifamily spaces. So this property at 2134 North 2nd Street is a 0.12 acre lot with a 3-story, 5,589 square foot brick structure, which was constructed circa 1910. This property is bounded by the property at 2138 North 2nd Street to north, North 2nd Street to the east, and the property at 2139 North Front Street to the south, and the property at 2141 North Front Street to the west. So Planning Bureau staff recommend the request be approved with the following conditions. Condition 1, the applicant shall allow the Codes Bureau to perform a comprehensive inspection and receive approval for all necessary city permits prior to receiving a certificate of occupancy and leasing any units. Condition 2, the applicant will coordinate with the Department of Public Works to confirm the appropriate size and location of refuse collection on site, and the accounts billing reflect the new use. So Planning Bureau staff recommend the request be approved for the following reasons. The proposed multifamily dwelling use would have a lesser or equal impact to the surrounding community compared to the existing legally non-conforming fitness center use. Reason 2, the proposed project will provide an overall benefit to the surrounding community by increasing housing options and providing and supporting a customer base for nearby local businesses.
thank you, sir. Could you state your name and address in relationship to the project?
So it's Susan Confair. I'm the attorney for Mr. Toole with the law firm of Rieger and Adler, 2331 Market Street, Camp Hill, Pennsylvania, 17011.
Okay, you heard the staff report and the conditions are acceptable of this.
Yes.
My other question is, is this person related to Commissioner O'Toole? And they just dropped the old. Yeah.
Right.
No.
Similar names.
No idea how many times I typed your name by mistake, O'Toole.
Okay. With that, I don't have any questions with her. Commissioner McKissick, any concerns? Commissioner O'Toole? Yeah.
Not very long. Linus Finnicle would be here, but otherwise someplace else. Yeah, well, a little more than that.
Commissioner Mark?
So are there parking options?
I don't believe so.
In conversation with the applicant, this property doesn't have any space for off-street parking. I know there's that very large surface parking lot next door. So I did talk with the applicant and try to encourage and maybe work out some kind of lease agreement to formally, use some of that space. It's just a giant surface parking lot most of the day next door. So the applicant did not pursue that.
Okay, go to the public again, and if you're for or against this project, again, state your name and address. Start to my left, center, one to the right. The commissioner, again, a straightforward one. Get a motion. Is there a second? Been moved and second for approval of this project with the conditions. All those in favor state by saying aye. Opposed? Abstentions? Motion carried. Good luck. Third item on the agenda, this is a special exception application for 45 North 13th Street, which is zone RM. Density filed by Tyshawn Greenlove and Jeffrey Montgomery within an M Cafe. This is to establish a coffee shop / cafe use and request relief from the off-street parking requirements, which require special exception. Staff.
The applicant's proposing to establish a cafe coffee shop within the RM district. This requires special exception approval for both the use and for the off-street parking requirements. So if you remember, this property was before you guys for a few months in a row for looking to do a convenience store. So the applicant actually resubmitted a new application, not a revised application, to look to do a cafe coffee shop. So based on the materials they submitted, and talking with the applicant with their business plan and their vision, the Planning Bureau assessed that this is, an honest request to do a cafe coffee shop and not a minor revision to try to get something in as a convenience store. So this property at 45 North 13th Street is a 0.09 acre lot with a 3-story, 2,660 square foot stick-built structure, which was constructed in 1900. The property is bounded by Shrub Street to the north, Brady Street to the east, and the property at 41 North 13th Street to the south, North 13th Street to the west. The Planning Bureau staff recommend the request be approved with the following conditions. Condition 1, the applicant shall allow the Codes Bureau to perform a comprehensive health inspection and receive approval for all necessary city permits prior to receiving a certificate of occupancy. Condition 2, the applicants will coordinate with the Department of Public Works to ensure that the account billing is updated to reflect the new use. Condition 3, the applicant will coordinate with the property owner to remove all illegally installed barbed wire on site and to remove the vehicular gate along North 13th Street, given that there's no legal curb cut or driveway that allows vehicular access across the sidewalk. Condition 4, the applicant shall not sell routine household goods or a significant portion of packaged goods that would otherwise be associated with the convenience store use. Planning Bureau staff recommend the request be approved for the following reasons. Reason 1, the proposed use is compatible with the surrounding community and would reoccupy a portion of a vacant structure long configured to accommodate commercial uses. Reason 2, the proposed use would help reactivate the surrounding streetscape while supporting social opportunities to nearby residents associated with a coffee shop or a cafe use.
Okay, thank you, staff. Could you state your names, your address, and your relationship to the project?
My name is Corey Leschner, and I'm the attorney for this project, specifically Tyshawn Greenlove and Jeffrey Montgomery, with the law offices of Corey Leschner, and that's 415 Market Street, Suite 204, Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
I'm Jeffrey Montgomery Jr., address 3901 Woodville Road, Harrisburg, PA, and I'm owner of N&M Gaff.
Gentlemen,
My name is Tyshawn Greenlove, co-owner of N&M Cafe. My address is 79 Simon Court, Mechanicsburg, Pennsylvania.
Okay, you gentlemen heard the staff report with the conditions. Are you acceptable of this condition?
We're acceptable to the conditions. The issue with the gate, I'd like to address that briefly if I could. My understanding after speaking with the property owner this afternoon and my clients that the gate across the front doesn't actually open now. They're more than willing to make sure that that is the case, that it's a permanent fence structure and not a gate to eliminate the vehicle traffic issue, which is what I think the planning commission or the staff was worried about, was vehicle traffic over the sidewalk, which shouldn't be permitted anyway. There is a movable gate in the alley behind. And so that would be the access point to that fenced in area. And this would just be essentially the front of the fence. We can accomplish that in multiple ways. It's my understanding it's a non-movable hinge that you see in that picture, that what looks like a hinge next to the storage shed there. We could put privacy fencing up. We could do lots of different things to make sure that it's clear, that it's not.
And I would add addition to that gate that was illegally installed by the property owner. It is also, because it's in the front of the property, it also exceeds the 4 feet height minimum in the front in the RM district. The gate's approximately about 6 feet as well. But we'd like to see, if it's not removed, really have some kind of substantial change to this, so it's not going to be in use.
Neil, did you have something?
No, it's, if it's who I believe it is, the property owner, we've had recurring issues with compliance. That's the same individual.
Yes, the property owner is Mr. Lamont Palmer.
As far as the barbed wire is concerned, it's not an issue. We've gotten the property owner's permission to remove it. And either he will remove it himself or my clients will remove it for the project. At this point, to the extent that there's any questions from the commission, I would offer both of my clients to answer whatever.
So you're acceptable of all the conditions?
That's correct.
I guess the only question I have right now is, and maybe I didn't read everything in the report, to talk to the neighbors. I know there's an active group out there. Some are tourists.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we in the Summit Terrace area, we actually went door to door, spoke to a lot of the neighbors and let them know what was going on and what exactly we were bringing to the community with the new business plan, just like the first one that we had. But we just let them know, and even the president of the Summit Terrace community, we even let her know that we're switching up the plan, going with something that's more suitable for the area. No one had was against her.
Everyone was acceptable.
Yeah,
of that.
everyone was acceptable of it, just like the first. Yeah, Miss Loretta.
Yeah, I know there's an active group. Commissioners, that was my question. Commissioner Kinsick, any concerns?
That's approximately correct.
Commissioner O'Toole? Commissioner Murray? Ask the public again, once again, if you have any, you're for or against this project, state your name and address. To my left. Okay, Commissioner, again, this is straightforward, and that, like also what my fellow commissioner said about time to make this project something useful for the neighborhood. And also, this is not going to cause some traffic problems. Thank you for that. With that, can I get a motion? Is there a second? It's been moved. Been moved and second for approval of this project. All those in favor state by saying aye. Oh, with the conditions. Aye. Opposed, abstentions, motion carried. Good luck, gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Commissioner.
Okay. Other business? Other business?
No other business at this time. No.
Commissioners, anything for the good of the water? Motion for adjournment? Newton, second, we stand adjourned.